Nobody ever shows up on time anyway. And now watch, they will.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We're live on one. All right,
Yeah,
we're going live
here we
here
go.
too. All right, welcome back to Coach Kathi and Coach Kate here today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, this is part of a series called the Replenishment Series that I've got posted. We are in week 3. Our first one was food sensitivities, and I will put a link to that right here. The week 2 was, we discussed last week hormones, and this week we're talking about micronutrient deficiencies. So welcome, my name is Coach Kathi Sottosanti, here with my friend Kate Motz. Kate has recently written the book or published the book, Revolutionary Weight Loss, The Predictable Plan to Lose It for Good This Time. So I come to you as a fitness coach and a mindset coach, and then Kate brings in the scientific aspect so we can address all parts of transformation, from mindset to weight loss to why our weight loss may be hindered, as we say, weight loss resistance in this case. So today we're here to talk about micronutrient deficiencies. So welcome back. If you are on YouTube, it would be great if you could subscribe to this channel, whether you're watching through Kate or myself, so that you get notifications when we post more videos like this one. Upcoming, so you know, next week is gut health. Then we're going to continue through the holidays on a weekly basis, talking about exercise, sleep, and mindset. I also have a couple of private groups on Facebook called, one is Coach Kathi, which focuses on fitness. The second is Healing Empathic Hearts, which is to help people who are empaths by nature, healing from narcissistic or toxic relationships, and Integrative Wellness Advisors.
Integrative Wellness Advisors, and my group is called Discover the Root Cause. So you can find the group through the Integrative Wellness Advisors page.
Okay, perfect. And really, that's why we're here, to discover the root cause. Hi, Pete. Welcome.
He's reminding me to smile.
Oh, that's so funny. Make it easy. Have
Thank
fun.
you.
We're here to have a good time. It's really been fun. And anyone who joins us here on live, feel free to ask questions, leave comments. I know it appears like we're interviewing and we're here, but you can chime in at any time. If anybody's just joining in, feel free to write, put a comment, leave a question. We're here to be interactive with you as well, not just the two of us going over this. This
Right.
is
Yes.
for everyone's sake. All right, so I want to give us a little bit of a background on your history. I know I've been talking about it, but why don't we give it to you too on functional medicine?
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Handing it over.
So I'm a functional medicine coach, and my mission on this planet is to help people figure out the real reasons or the root causes for their health problems. My book, Revolutionary Weight Loss, is really a weight loss focus. I'm trying to help people discover why they're struggling to lose weight. We do all the things that we think we're supposed to do. We eat the right foods, or we don't eat a lot of food, and we exercise, and we're doing all the things, and nothing's working. The weight won't come off. And so the book and what we're doing together is just really trying to be of service to people who want to learn how to do this. The book is a very step-by-step process that you can take and do it on your own. Of course, we would love to help you. So please reach out to us. You can find us, like Kathy said, on Facebook, or we can leave contact information. Please ask us questions. Let us know how we can help you. Today we're talking about micronutrients. It's actually something that's very near and dear to my heart. I see some of the biggest changes in people when they replace nutrients that are depleted in the body.
Right, which I find fascinating because, so we're taking a very broad category. Everybody is so different and everyone is so individual that there's just so many cases of information and no two are the same.
Right.
Although if someone does suffer from something or has a problem with something, it is likely that you're one that represents hundreds or thousands of people that are suffering from the same thing. So
Right.
the goal is taking it to the deeper level of finding the root causes we were saying before.
Yeah.
So we know a little bit about macronutrients, and this is where the trainee comes into play. Macronutrients, we've got fat and carbohydrates, protein. Protein is a building block, which means we take in protein after a tough workout or what have you to build back lean muscle. in theory, so that we can add lean muscle to our body, because for every pound of lean muscle we gain, we burn 50 more calories at rest. So the goal is muscle gain. And in some cases for people, it's weight loss or fat loss, not weight loss necessarily, right?
Right. That number on the scale is not as important as we make it.
Right. And, and I've got great visual pictures of this, which I'll attach to the end of this if it's on YouTube, so that you can see what a woman at 148 pounds looks like compared to her body at 140, and how much more in shape she is at the higher number.
Yeah.
But the scale doesn't tell us when you're losing weight, well, you've lost muscle and you've lost body fat. It just gives you a lump total, which isn't what we're really looking for. Fat and carbohydrates are energy sources for our body. So fat doesn't make you fat. This is the only country where the term fat is used to describe body weight and a macronutrient of food. In other countries, there are two different words for those two categories. So we think that by eating fat, we're going to get fat. In a lot of cases, to lose weight, you actually need to eat more healthy fats. It's just that it is more calorically dense, which we're going to talk about in regard to foods, but calorically dense meaning fat is 9 calories a gram, where carbohydrates are 4 calories a gram. So eating fat doesn't make you fat. Those are our macronutrients, and they're important to balance and get right and make sure that we get enough of all of them for energy. If you've ever gone carb-free, which one of my training clients is doing right now, you'll feel depleted in energy. It's a little more exhausting because carbohydrates give you that quick pickup, which is why when you overeat too many processed carbohydrates and foods that aren't good for you, you experience an onslaught of energy, but you're going to end up being exhausted shortly thereafter.
Yeah, when you
crash.
Down,
right.
Come down from it, right.
So why don't you give us a little bit of info about the term micronutrients?
Okay. So as you, I think, mentioned, micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. They are absolutely essential for the human body. They play a lot of different roles in the body. And you mentioned, a calorie dense versus a nutrient dense diet, and that's so important. Not all calories are created equal. We talked a little bit about that. So, your diet alone might be calorie dense, meaning you're getting enough calories so that you're not feeling hungry, but the nutrient piece could be lacking. And, you mentioned that our soils are depleted, or maybe you didn't, but that's so important to talk about. Yeah, you did. You mentioned that. The soils are depleted. So we're not getting the nutrients from our, conventionally raised produce and animal protein than we used to.
Because CO2 levels are up.
Yeah. So
our depleting our soil, as you say in the book, means protein, iron, and zinc from the soil is down.
Yeah.
So we're not getting it like we once used to. And, I'm part of Isogenics, and I work with these nutrient-dense foods. And I've been saying this for a very long time. And putting a shake into your day is adding that many more micronutrients to your diet as well. And I've been saying for a long time, our soil is depleted. So people would say, and friends of mine and other health coaches, oh, but we need to eat from the earth. We need to eat real food. We need to eat real food. Well, these shakes are real food, but they're nutrient dense, scientifically backed.
Right.
And so that's how I know that I'm ahead of the curve in regard to getting in these nutrients, because I know what I'm taking in.
And it's actually a very controversial topic because, there's the philosophy that if you're eating all the right things, if you're eating organic, and if you're eating mostly plants and nuts and seeds and stuff like that, that you're getting, there's a lot of people that will say that you're getting enough nutrients from your food. So I'm not saying that I completely disagree if you're eating perfectly. However, there are other things that pull nutrients from your body. So the air we breathe, it's polluted.
Right.
The stress that we deal with this year has been a perfect example. That will pull nutrients from the body. If you're a coffee drinker, you most likely have a B vitamin deficiency. Coffee will pull B vitamins from your body, which is so interesting because, if you're a coffee drinker and you've noticed that you need more coffee because you need more energy, and then, a couple months later you need more coffee, you're pulling B vitamins from your body with all that coffee. I mean, you're doing a lot of other things too, but that's one thing. Which a B vitamin deficiency will make you feel exhausted.
Okay.
And anxious and depressed.
Right.
There's a long list.
So coffee's a hot topic because how many of us drink so much of it to, like they say,
Keep
run on
going.
Dunkin'. Yeah. So it becomes a cycle.
Yeah.
It's
a tough one.
It's a tough
Really
one.
tough.
So because we're trying to manage, especially in this year of 2020, stress levels, fear, anxiety, all of it comes into play. And so people are taking in things that they probably hadn't done and are out of balance. I mean, our goal is to get us all through this winter and not come out in the spring like a total mess.
Right.
And it's, I'm a little worried because we are going into winter months. And I say it all the time, I've been out, I think, every day since March 17th, but maybe 5 in some form of outdoor, I call it environmental exercise, which I really know to be so good for you. Yeah. But we really want to work to get everybody through, and there's so much to cover.
Yes.
All right, so as we head into winter months, vitamin D, 35%, 35% of people are deficient, I think we said in here.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
here.
I think that number could be
I think it's higher.
Yeah. Vitamin D is so important. It's really directly linked to your immune system. If you are deficient in vitamin D, your immune system is not operating at its optimum level.
Right.
So super important right now.
And so and if you struggle with obesity, then it is actually can you explain that cycle of vitamin D and obesity?
I mean, it's really different for every person, for every body. I mean, in general, there's a long list of reasons why any kind of nutrient deficiency can be, you can trace it back to a weight issue. When you're nutrient deficient, your body's just not operating the way that it should be. There are so many different things that a nutrient deficient person can experience. It can affect your sleep.
Right.
And if you're not sleeping,
right,
your body can't operate efficiently. Your metabolism slows down. Your mood totally changes. You have much less motivation to really do anything, let alone get out and move your body.
Right.
But I do see a lot of clients come to me and they have a vitamin D deficiency. And, that this is one of the reasons why I love micronutrients is because I can help them select a good quality vitamin D. Mm-hmm. It's something we can start right away. And it always makes a change for the better right away, which then motivates them to keep going and doing more. So, I mean, that happens with some of the others too, the B vitamins that I mentioned, but vitamin D is huge. I see great improvements when we replace it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a quick side story on that. Years ago, I thought I was ahead of the curve before it was all over Dr. Phil and the daytime talk show shows about it, vitamin D. I was taking 5,000 IUs a day, and I thought I'm going to knock this one out of the park. I had my blood work done, and the range is 32 to 100, and I came in at 33.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this was in October, so I went through the entire summer with a 33. I was really like, whoa. So I switched brands. I started using Life Extension. I think they're high quality.
Yeah.
Life Extension, vitamin D, and got retested in February, and my number went to 83.
Oh, wow.
Switching
That's a great
quality.
improvement. Yeah.
And in the wintertime, my number skyrocketed. So that was incredible. Really, quality definitely matters.
It does. And that actually brings up another good point. I'm glad that you said that. Yes, you can get vitamin D from the sun. Mm-hmm. That is a true fact. However, it's difficult. And, most of us don't live close enough to the sun or spend enough time in the sun.
Right.
Or most of us slather our bodies in things, sunscreen, that will block the absorption that our body really needs. Not to mention it's full of chemicals that will also deplete the body. So I'm not saying sunscreen's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it doesn't help when you're trying to get vitamin D from the sun. So I am a firm believer that if you have a deficiency in vitamin D, supplementation is really the best way to go.
Okay.
And absolutely find a quality supplement.
Right.
Please don't take something that has a bunch of other, can I say crap?
Yeah, you can.
Has a bunch of other crap in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember Dr. Christiane Northrup saying that the best thing to do is 15 minutes a day in the morning before the sun's too strong outside, uncovered in sunscreen.
Yeah.
But, you know, we live a life of racing and being all over the place and having to get to work and kids in school or not in school. Tommy sleeping in a little today. And it gets tough to actually, to get out and do these things. Who knows? Maybe by spring we'll be able to have all new rituals. Another one, just to throw this in there, is another ritual which we don't ever get to do is sunsets. You know that if you watch a sunset repeatedly at night, it teaches you to trust because it subconsciously teaches your brain that you can depend on it.
Oh, wow.
Just a sidebar.
And I love sunsets.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yes.
All right, so let's go over the other ones as well. E deficiency, calcium. Actually, why don't we go over what comprises micronutrients?
Okay. Meaning, there's so many. So it's really all the vitamin and mineral levels in your body. We can also include, let's say, like antioxidants that the body makes. Mm-hmm. But they're all important for so many different reasons. And sometimes a depletion in just one, meaning the levels in your body and inside of your cells is not high enough, can cause a lot of really uncomfortable symptoms. I actually have like a list of things that I was going to go over.
Let's do it.
Do you have dry skin, dry hair, brittle nails? Are you experiencing brain fog, memory loss? Like you forget where you put your keys all the time type of a thing. Any digestive issues, specifically constipation. Do you get sick? Every time your kid comes home from daycare, are you picking up whatever your kid's bringing home? Is there anxiety, depression, restlessness, or like irritability for no really good reason? I'm not saying that like regular life won't cause some of these things, but it could be a nutrient deficiency. So I mentioned sleep before. If you're having trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, muscle cramps or like any kind of muscle twitching, like restless legs, stuff like that. And then the big one that we're talking about here is weight loss resistance. Any of those things, and there's a whole long list of others, but any of those things, if you're experiencing those, you most likely have some kind of a nutrient deficiency or borderline deficiency. And, it's so easy to fix.
Right.
Like, just find out what it is. And of course, the micronutrient deficiency testing is the easiest and the quickest way, and the most reliable way to know, and then replace them. And then things really change.
And we'll put the link to the bonuses part of the book where you have all the testing.
Yes.
So if somebody wants to go and get their micronutrients tested, it's an easy process. You want to take us through that?
Yeah, it's a blood test. It's a blood draw. So, it's not just something that you can easily do from home. This is one of the tests that there is a lab that's doing a finger stick test, but I prefer the blood draw. And the reason why is because I think if you're going to go to this length to find out what your body really needs, let's just be really thorough. And with a really good test, which requires a blood draw, they're not only going to show you what's kind of floating around in your blood today, but also what's in your cells. So what are your cells actually taking in, absorbing, and utilizing? Because, if you think about it, you take your multivitamin, you take your vitamin D or whatever, and you go off and get a blood test. Well, it's going to show that you have potentially adequate levels in your blood because it's all there. You just took it. So, and that's sort of an extreme example, but you need to know what your cells are actually taking in and utilizing.
Should you not take them before getting tested?
I like, when it comes to any testing, I prefer to encourage fasting before just drinking water. The labs will tell you that it's not necessary for a micronutrient panel, but I would prefer that people fast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do I know the difference between, and is it just coming down to testing, if my symptoms are micronutrient depletion or maybe hormonal imbalance?
That's a really good question. And it's tough because a lot of the symptoms are very overlapping. But here's what's important about hormones specifically, because I know we talked about that last time. If you have a hormonal imbalance, yes, it's good to know, because I like to have sort of a baseline for people that are considering making improvements and looking for healing opportunities, right? But just knowing if you have a hormonal imbalance and what the hormonal imbalance is or a combination are, that's not really the root cause.
Okay.
So, the symptoms that you're experiencing, whether it's, horrible PMS or bloating or night sweats, these are some of the really fun hormonal things that we deal with. Or, you're just feeling a little bit crazy. Yes, it could be because your hormones are imbalanced, but there's a reason behind it, and it's things like we've talked about, food sensitivities,
okay, that
potentially
makes sense.
micronutrient deficiencies, and then some of the other things that we're going to be talking about later.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So it's almost like that's a repercussion of other things being out of balance.
Yes.
Okay. Magnesium. I know that's a big one for people who are deficient in magnesium.
And most people are.
Right, that's what it says. Most people are. So an Epsom salt bath is one way to get magnesium back in the body, or supplementing, of course. And there's all different kinds of magnesium.
Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds, and certain people will have certain reactions to different kinds. So, if you're one of these do-it-yourselfers and you are feeling like you might need some magnesium, which is great for, give it a try if you're dealing with things like restless sleeping or restless legs or muscle twitching, that kind of thing, muscle aches. There are some types of magnesium that will cause like diarrhea and other things. So you kind of have to
Then you just
play
dial
around
back.
with it, and see what works for you.
I recommend taking it at night so that it relaxes the muscles, helps you sleep, and keeps you regular in the morning going to the bathroom. Let's talk about, because this was interesting to me, let's talk about nutrient pulling. So we were saying earlier, we have a calorically dense life of food.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean it's nutrient dense, which there's a difference. And I speak about this all the time, like eating nutrient dense foods. If we eat all day long, but we eat crap, our body will continue to look for what it needs.
Yeah.
Right? And so you keep eating and eating because you're not giving your body what it needs to thrive. You're giving it what you want, which means it keeps craving. Right? So it becomes like a vicious cycle. So that's like, so we say, well-fed but undernourished. I'm reading from the book. Yeah. Well-fed but undernourished, epidemic growing in America and other developed countries. More and more people are consuming more than enough food, but getting fewer and fewer nutrients that they need. So that's why it's super important. It's not just about how much we're eating. It's about eating to thrive and have the body be in better balance.
Right. Absolutely.
So what was interesting to me is that I was seeing this only as a, what am I not taking in? But really it's twofold. It's what am I not taking in, and how are the micronutrients and why are they being pulled from my body? So there's there's reasons that not just so it's twofold. It's not just enough to eat them if we're then offsetting that with having them being pulled because of external forces.
Right.
We talked about stress. Everybody's got it. Everybody's stressed. People, we have lives of stress. I think that 2020 is showing us how to slow down a lot, which has been awesome, but it also creates new stressors. COVID, and am I going to get it, and what's going on with it, and who's watching who. I mean, the world is half crazy right now. I just posted the other day, and a lot of people saw it, and so many people commented, thank you, about how hard it is to go for walks in nature because people feel like if you're going to look at them, you're going to give them the virus. Yeah. Because friendly hellos and highs.
We're afraid of each other now.
Right. It's causing division.
Yeah.
So stress, pollution, caffeine. Now that's going to get a lot of people.
I know. I don't make any friends by talking about that. I know.
So it's not just coffee; it's caffeine in general.
Yeah, but I don't remember the exact science behind why coffee is worse for
Acidic?
nutrient depletion.
Because it's acidic, maybe?
Probably, and it does depend on the kind of coffee as well. Like anything else, like any other food or beverage, processed anything, if you can buy something that is in its most natural state, so the body can actually recognize what you're putting into it. So if you can buy a coffee that is an organic, it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals in it, it'll make a difference.
Right. I agree. And green tea is alkaline, coffee is acidic, and it's been said, or I read, that 3 cups of green tea a day helps to fight body fat, or helps to melt off body fat.
Yeah, I love green tea.
And then smoking, drugs, cleaning supplies, and medicines.
Oh yeah, medication.
So let's talk about that. This was I looked it up because I'm on a thyroid medication, and you talk about this website, www.mytavin.com, mytavin.com. And if you go there, you can enter your medications and see what the adverse effects of the medications might be.
Yeah. Very eye-opening.
Yeah.
I think I said that in the book too. Yes. So first of all, my disclaimer is that I am not advising, nor do I ever advise people to stop taking medication.
Right.
However, it is so important that you at least know that when you take medication, whether it's over the counter or prescribed, it will bind to and pull nutrients from your body. It's just the way it works.
Okay.
So if you're taking Advil or whatever it is over the counter or a prescription, it's just a good idea to know what's being pulled so that you can replace the nutrients.
Okay, that makes sense.
Same thing, coffee's in the same category, or any other substance that is proven to pull nutrients. Just know what it's doing, replace them.
Okay. Can you give us any examples?
Yeah, actually, this is the example that I usually use, and it's actually a horrible example, but it's really true. And this is why I think that, again, not against medication, but I really think that this is a conversation that everyone should be having when they are prescribed anything. So a lot of times what I see is somebody comes to me and they are on an anti-anxiety medication. And when they went into get treated for this, they were prescribed an anti-anxiety medication. So they're taking it, and that medication is pulling nutrients from their body, because again, they all do.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, and this isn't all the time, but it's most of the time, what I find is that the nutrients that are being pulled from the body are the nutrients that, when depleted, will cause the issue.
Anxiety.
So you're taking something that, it's taking the edge off. It's covering up your symptoms so you don't have to feel it anymore. I get it. I understand why you do it. Not knocking it or saying it's the wrong thing to do. But you are then pulling nutrients from your body that, when they're depleted, will cause the anxiety. So you just need to replace the nutrients.
Okay.
And that's why we tend to need to up our dosage on a regular basis. One of the reasons why we need to up our dosage on a regular basis. I'm in the business of helping people discover more natural ways of dealing with health problems, including anxiety. But I have a lot of clients that come to me and they're already on medication. And so we talk about how to just mitigate what's happening to the body as a result of.
It's a lot to navigate through.
Yeah.
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 Can we talk about thyroid, since it seems to be a popular issue with people?
Yeah.
And weight loss, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Weight loss resistance. You really need to take a look at the thyroid and what's happening anytime you're dealing with weight loss resistance. So I might not make too many friends saying this either, but I think, especially in our country, so having a thyroid issue is scary. It just is. And it's something that cannot be ignored. It must be addressed. The issue is that there's a root cause. There's a reason why you're having trouble with the thyroid. And we're so quick to put a medication on it. And maybe that is the right answer, but maybe it's not. And I would just love to see more exploration about why you're dealing with the thyroid issue in the beginning. Because the bigger issue here is that with thyroid medication specifically, most of the time, when you start a thyroid medication, you're going to be on it forever.
Yeah.
Because your thyroid is now, the message your thyroid's getting now is, oh, well, I don't have to do anything anymore because you're giving me what I need to do my thing. So it actually kind of quits doing what it's supposed to do. Not in every situation, but a lot of times that's what happens. And so, I don't know that everyone hears from their healthcare provider that I'm going to put you on this medication, and just so you know, you're going to take it forever. Like, I don't know if, is that said? I don't
think so.
Okay.
I mean, I'm on it, and I didn't anticipate that, but I know I've been on it for years, and I don't anticipate, I guess, going off.
Because I wonder how many people would say, oh, well, is there anything else I can do?
Right.
And then there could be a new discussion.
Right.
And if you choose to go on medication, great. But at least you made an informed decision, knowing what your future is going to look like.
When I, about 2 or 3 years ago, I went to an exercise symposium at the University of Alabama in Birmingham. And they talked about how in the early 1900s, medicine was exercise. Exercise was written on a prescription for people. That was their form of medicine. And then pills were created, medication was created, and we know what's going on since then. A lot of it's money making.
Yeah.
The big pharma and what's going on right now, and the race to even create.
Right.
Dare I say?
Don't.
I know.
We'll be blocked forever.
Yeah, exactly. That thing that could be coming our way that is then going to lead us down another new path of what's being depleted for people putting this stuff into their bodies. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah. Right.
I won't go there.
Yeah.
All right. So, what would you say are the biggest nutrients that block weight loss?
So again, it's really different for everybody. I know I say that a lot, but it's very true because the body, everybody's body, everybody's body will respond differently depending on what's happening and what it's missing out on. But, so I mentioned sleep. We know that sleep is so important for weight loss. Sometimes that's the one thing that's preventing.
Absolutely.
So if you're nutrient deficient in, say, like a magnesium, or in my case, I actually was having a lot of trouble sleeping, and I did my micronutrient deficiency panel and found out that I was deficient in zinc, which is super important for sleep,
right,
and immune.
And it also relates to leptin.
Yes, right, which regulates your appetite.
Right.
So zinc is a really good example. Can affect your sleep, can affect your appetite.
And on the bonus side, it increases your immune system.
Yes. I love zinc.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be careful with it. Don't go out and just buy a bunch of zinc and start taking it. That's not what I'm saying to do, but it really is helpful for a lot of things. I actually have zinc lozenges here, and anytime anybody's thinking about getting a sore throat, they use a zinc lozenge. It will clear up a sore throat really quickly. I love it.
I brought it into my life at the beginning of this time period, that with this thing going on. I brought it into my life and added it to my mix because that's one of the big ones they were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
The D, the zinc, magnesium, keeping your immune system strong and resilient while we are experiencing this thing in the world.
Right. Yes.
All right. Biotin boosts metabolism by stabilizing blood sugar.
Yep. Biotin's really important. I'm finding a lot of people are deficient. I was actually as well. And I was experiencing some hair loss because of it. And
would you say that's because of stress?
I don't really know exactly. That's one of the harder things to know is, I mean, yes, I've been stressed this year, just like everybody else. But I don't do a lot of things that would be, directly pointed to that depletion, but for whatever reason, that's what was happening for me. And, it's so great to know. And then I replaced it, and then now my hair is not falling out anymore.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then low magnesium in cells impairs ability to use glucose for fuel.
Right. And if your body's not it's not optimized so that you're not using the glucose for fuel like you should, then guess where it gets put?
Stored as body fat.
Right. Shove it into the fat cells.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of this is going, right?
Yeah. Right.
Water soluble and fat soluble vitamins.
Yeah. It's important to know. I mean, I guess the kind of basic thing to know is that water soluble, you can take them, and if you take too much, your body will just get rid of it. But with the fat soluble, you can create a toxicity issue for yourself. So to be more careful with the fat soluble. And, you know, I'm sure Google could provide some of that information, but I think when it comes to supplementation, especially if there's like a therapeutic need for it, that you talk to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Okay.
Which, you know, no offense, but that doesn't include the kids at, you know, CVS that are just wandering through the aisle.
Right.
They're not trained to really be able to help. I don't think. So it's really important that you talk to somebody that can help.
Okay. And then can we talk about B vitamins? Because a lot of people are trying plant-based lifestyles. And I know that, or I read that B vitamins to replace in a lot of cases comes from meat. So if someone's not eating meat, is vegetarian or vegan, recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're doing, again, no offense, an extreme diet like vegetarian diet, which is so great for people who it's great for. Like there are people that's best for them. That's fantastic. But we just really do need to be mindful of what we're missing and replace it.
Right.
So, you know, and I do like Google for Googling things like what foods are high in vitamin, whatever, insert the vitamin, and getting a list of them. And if you feel like that's something that you need, or you find out that's something that you need, focus on eating those foods.
Right.
I wouldn't count on any fortified cereals or fortified beverages, stuff like that, by themselves. But I think with bees especially, that what I've found is that supplementing is best.
Okay. And then I like what you say about when you're undernourished or calorie dense but not nutrient dense, it slows down your metabolism.
Yeah, it does. It does. But it also, like I mentioned before, it just prevents all those super important functions for metabolism to operate effectively, for you to feel good and want to move around and, you know, and just do life in a happy way.
And have the energy to get through the day and not just feel exhausted all the time.
Yeah. Because a slow metabolism will make you feel like that.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel sluggish.
Right.
And unhappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change the moods.
Yeah.
So really the benefits to getting enough micronutrients on top of balancing the healthy foods and the macronutrients, and then the exercise for the lean muscle is such a great path to total wellness.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
there's so many avenues here to go over, and so many parts that it can be overwhelming and complicated. That's why we're doing these videos and making this series. And again, if you missed the first two, they're on my YouTube channel. We're repurposing them, or you can find the lives on the private face group pages that we have. We're sharing these out there and bringing this to you so that we can all work on, through this holiday season and the winter time, really taking even better care of our sport and getting through this holiday time. Especially in normal life, the holiday period is not an easy time. They say, you know, we think the myth is that everybody gains 5 to 7 pounds in the holiday season. A New York Times did an article a few years back that stuck with me, because the truth is we actually only gain, the average adult gains approximately 2 pounds a year, one during the holiday season and one in other real life. This is the average American, but we don't lose them. So when we wake up 5 years from now, 10 pounds heavier, we wonder what the heck happened. It's that we gain them, they become bricks in our building, but we don't lose them. So it doesn't have to be possible. My challenge every year is this. I start at the day after Thanksgiving and I say, shoot for 21 workouts between the day after Thanksgiving, right now, and the end of this year. 21 workouts. I did this about 6 years ago. I started this, I think, and I'll never forget my friend Stacy, who came up to me. I was working in a gym the next day and said, what do I have to do? And I said, show up and work out. She lost weight in the holiday season and never gained it back.
Oh, wow.
So it's very possible to live healthfully through the holidays, to make good choices, to balance it out. One of the things that I say, and maybe we'll do an additional one too, maybe we'll do a bonus one on staying healthy through the holidays. Putting you on the spot right here.
Yeah.
But eating before you go to the party and not depending on the food that's being served to you at the party, that's one of the greatest ways to work around holiday weight gain. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to talk about. I know we just covered a lot. If you have questions and you're watching this at any other time in space, just leave questions here. We will check back in and try to get as many answers as we can. We'll leave links to the bonus page from the book so people can have access to micronutrient testing to see what your levels may be. I'm curious to now know mine. We're waiting for my food sensitivity test to come back, which we'll share with you on here as well. We'll see where I'm sensitive. I know a lot of it, but I would like to see it as well on paper. So I feel like it's going to give me a really good guide as to what to stay away from because I'm affected by a lot of foods. So we will see. And then any other questions or comments, leave them here for us. I'll get this up on YouTube so that we can have access to it over and over if you need to watch it again. Any other questions or comments or anything else that we need to go over before I know this is a lot. There's a lot of information in here. We covered a lot.
We did. It was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's great.
Yeah,
So
thank you for being here.
the book, Revolutionary Weight Loss by Kate Motz. I'm Kathi Sottosanti. Thanks for joining us here today on Micronutrient Deficiency. Next week, we're going to cover gut health. And that's another extremely important one to add to the mix because it's our second brain.
Right.
I mean, it's actually a fabulous topic for many aspects, from trusting your gut, your intuition, nervous little tingling feeling. It's so important for so many reasons. So keeping it balanced and healthy is going to be extremely important. So look for that. We will post when we're putting that up. And if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so that you come along with us on this journey to total well-being and feeling like our best selves, even in 2020.
Yes.
We can do this, and we are doing this. So thank you, everyone, for watching in whenever you're here. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, and have a great day, everyone.
Bye.